If only Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Kazim Shettima, the APC and INEC knew that the 25% compulsory requirement of Abuja that is now being contested, right, and use conjunctive and conjunctions and technicalities to explain, it would be an issue. They would have just rigged it. Of course, they rigged Plateau, rigged Benue, rigged in Edo State, rigged River State big time, rigged in Delta State. So what was the essence? What was the reason of leaving Abuja? Now their eyes are clear, and that, of course, that means when you continue to do bad things, you are likely not going to have a total control or grasp of the whole situation. You're going to let a couple of things slip because you would not have even imagined. Of course, now right now in BAT and Shettima's final address to the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, they are insisting that FCT, on one hand, quite in the final address, two varying how would I put it? Standpoint, two varying prayers. First is that FCT on one hand it was conjunctive or was added in conjunction in constitution to the 36th state of the federation. So if the constitution says they should go ahead and earn 2/3 of the vote and FCT conjunction, so it means that FCT wasn't so important, right? But it means that you could have 25% in 36 states and FCT. It doesn't mean that FCT is independently required, so to speak. Then there's also another stylish interpretation they are putting, and then this is why they introduced or they invoked the minimis rule. The minimis rule is a Latin statement in law that kind of infer that you should not concern yourself with the minima. Major on the major and forget about the minima. These are quite trivial, quite insignificant, quite unimportant, quite novel intersections. Don't let it bother you. And that's how they also went on to remind us of the 1979 case of Obafemi Awolowo and Shehu Shagari, of course, whereas it was inferred that Shagari had won a certain percentage of votes in Kano and a couple of other places, so it wasn't necessary to not bother yourself with what the constitution would have interpreted that it would have earned. So that's why they are saying now, for example, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu earned about 18.99%, which is approximately 19% of the vote cast in Abuja. So its only shortfall was about 6% in Abuja. So it becomes necessary to say that you want all this to happen the way you want it now, that it was 25%, that it was just a common 6% shortfall, and that is the minimis, right? So it's not. And I've said it, right? I've said it before that the elections, Nigerian democratic process, the election was really killed, right? Murdered, slaughtered in cold blood on the 25th of February 2023. The burial is yet to hold, and the judiciary may just become that undertaking team that would help bury the Nigerian electoral process, because many Nigerians have lost hope, right? Lost hope in the elections, lost hope in our democratic processes. But the revival, so to speak, or the sustenance is that, okay, maybe the judiciary will be able to uphold his own, defend the principles of democratic tenets, uphold the constitution of this country. Do not be bullied to whether or not you can sack a sitting president. It has happened in Kenya. In fact, the court in Nigeria did declare the national government in 1991 as unconstitutional, and heaven did not fall. Heaven did not fall. Want to check that out? The court said that national government was unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. It wasn't in the constitution of this country. We had moved to a federal system of government. Of course, some people argue that we are still joking. We are seeing some kind of feudalism, right? Oh Lord of heaven, we just laugh. And so right now, that court, and it happened in Kenya, for example, in an African country, neighboring African country, the Supreme Court ruled that the president that the Electoral Commission declared was illegal, and then nothing happened. So a couple of other things. So, and then of course, with the several bribes, it was first the Revenue Mobilization and Allocation and Fiscal Commission that unceremoniously increased the salaries of judges by 140% in a struggling economy. Nigerians revolted against it, and now you hear that in the 500 billion now be allocated for palliative, the Nigeria Judicial Council is going to get a whooping 35 billion of that. All these are bribes, just to shut the mouth of judges. But of course, we are waiting for them. Also, in the final address, it was also very stated in the very watery final address. I'll drop the link to the final address in the comment section so that you can read. I want Nigerians to continue to read. I see so many analyses on social media, and then the other day it was all of you saying that the rerun, let's prepare for rerun. This is how INEC bully does. This is how INEC. And then I'm hearing, especially in some media houses, that INEC made the promise to collating results and then transferring through the IREV, right? The results viewing, the public results viewing portal. It wasn't a promise. It was in the INEC manual and guidelines for the 2023 general elections, as it were in the Electoral Act, that the processes was actually consistently analyzed from collation, right? That's from accreditation to ensuring that at the end of the vote cast, that you ensure that the number of accredited voters in the beavers was in line with the number of on the register. And after that, you will do an on the spot transmission, electronic transmission of the result from EC8A to the portal. That was the agreement. That was in the guideline. So when you say a guideline, it means therefore that if INEC did not follow its guideline, INEC broke the rule. INEC broke the law. That's the point. The law was broken at this point. So it wasn't a promise. Isn't that you told Nigerians that we will do and so we decide not to do? No. It isn't. And so the judiciary has to uphold the Nigerian laws. You don't. If you are told in the code of conduct in your office that you should resume by 8 and you sign as part of your employment conditions that you resume by 8 o'clock, you signed. It was in the code of conduct. It was in the staff handbook given to you. Whether you signed it or it was given to you and you accepted the conditions to work in, and you don't come by 8, you come by 8:05, and you say that, oh, I thought it was a promise. That's not a promise anymore. And so whatever punishment accrued to breaking that law will be given to you. Of course, that's why Tinubu and Shettima, they are praying that we should concentrate, again, minimis rule, that not transmitting result electronically does it in any way define the fact that votes were collated and then result was announced. That in the analysis, they said that void votes and valid vote has its analysis, has its agreement, has its definitions, right, in our electoral laws. So if void votes, for example, if they are removed from valid vote, it makes it valid. So the fact that the election result wasn't able to be transmitted does not void the valid vote that came and the result that Yakub Mahmoud almost said Shekarao, because that guy is a Boko Haram of our electoral system, right? Delivered. It was also said in their very watery. Again, I'm just giving you a summary, so you can read that up in the notes that will be the link that will be dropped just now. It was also said in their address, the final address, that the Amazon staff that Peter B and Labour Party brought as one of his star witness, that the court should dismiss his evidence, dismiss the evidence associated with that staff, that it wasn't necessary, that the person was a member of the Labour Party. The problem is these guys continue to shoot itself on the foot, right? Whereas this same APC brought one of their own star witness that came is a serving senator that won the election, that won an election to the Senate is a member of the APC. He was the one that came and started to dispute that EU and EU report was baseless, and that ECOWAS report he accepted it. The first later now said that he wasn't going to accept because some part of it had some infringement in the thinking. Okay, you said that the court should dismiss Labour Party's witness because he's a member, even though he's a member, even though the person is also a staff of Amazon, but the person is also a member of the Labour Party. But you brought up a witness that is a serving senator and a member of your party that contested in the very same election. Share this video. Let's continue to educate ourselves. Let's brace up. I've said it before. The electoral process in Nigeria is dead, but whether the barrier would hold is not dependent on the Nigerian judicial system. We just hope that they don't use technicalities like what APCs. That's what they are doing now. They're trying to introduce technicalities, and it's not important. Oh, it's the minimis rule. Oh, RF is not compulsory. Whereas, you see, God help Nigeria. Share this video. Let it go viral as possible. Let's educate ourselves. Let's prepare. Right? Some people are saying that before the end of August, the judgment would have come, and then God help Nigeria. Catch you some other time.